I didn't tell Biden to stop bringing these illegal, undocumented aliens into this country. I didn't tell Biden that. We didn't tell Sleepy Joe to stop bringing these terrorists, rapists, murderers, ex-convicts from other countries into this country. Looky here.
Meanwhile, the terror threat at the southern border continues to grow. According to CBP, 76 people on the FBI terror watch list have been apprehended at our border since October 1st. More than 400,000 illegal immigrants have flown in on commercial flights as part of the White House's parole and release program from migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. Though the program is not taxpayer funded, as the recipients or their sponsors pay for the tickets. Well, here to discuss is retired Border Patrol Chief Chris Klim. Chris, thanks for being with us this morning. A lot of focus on those countries I just mentioned, but in the wake of the news overnight, one of the concerns that has to be on every American's mind is all of these individuals.
Golly. 76 terrorist suspects arrested at U.S. border since October. It's getting out of hand. And this is not even turning, this is done. The migrant crisis, it's not even a migrant crisis no more. It's a terror watch crisis. Because we've been letting terrorists into the country. Yeah.
On the terror watch list.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's very alarming when you see those numbers that are already met and will expect to exceed last year's already high water mark when it comes to those on the terror watch list. First, grateful that our Border Patrol agents are able to identify them when they're processing, but that system is only as good as the information in there. So it's oftentimes limited. If we don't receive a hit while we're taking biometrics, we don't know who they are. So that is also a concern. And again, those are the numbers and the people that we know about. One of my big concerns is the nearly 1.8 million known gotaways under this administration. I was just looking at...
Hold up. Did he just say 1.8 million gotaways? Which means they didn't get captured? Which means they could be inside the United States? Which means we have a 1.8 million people, terrorists, that we don't know that's in this country. Whoo, this don't look too good for America. A disaster is bound to happen. Meanwhile, I forgot to tell y'all, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button. It pushes us in the algorithm. And hit the notification bell button. I appreciate you guys. Let's get back to the episode.
CBP data earlier, and we've already met and exceeded every criminal category under this administration than we did in the previous administration. So, who are these people that are getting away from our Border Patrol agents and law enforcement? They're the ones that are ending up in our neighborhoods.
Have y'all been watching the background? Y'all paying attention to him talking. I understand that. But pay attention to the background. How many people already done snuck through the gates? How much have y'all counted since this gentleman been talking? How much of these illegal, undocumented aliens has been running through the gates? How much? I count about 50 to 100.
The crimes and possibly people that may have been on that terror watch list.
Here are some of the numbers from various countries around the world. 86,000 Cubans, 168,000 Haitians, 77,000 Nicaraguans, 102,000 Venezuelans. And although, as you mentioned, the gotaways, we probably have some...
Okay. 84,000 Cuban migrants, 154,000 Haitian migrants, 69,000 Nicaraguan migrants, 95,000 Venezuelan migrants. All right. Wow. It's crazy to see that the Haitian number is outbeating all of them. But then again, Haiti is in a state of emergency, in a state of crisis right now, under the dictator of barbecue. Yeah, the ones that's been barbecuing people up, as we heard. Anyway, let's get back to the episode. Let's not drift off task.
Some indication of those on the terror watch list that we've caught and giving us an idea of where they are coming from. Could you give us some idea? What countries are we talking about are sort of feeding those we're catching or perhaps losing from the terror watch list?
Well, I don't want to get into too much detail because I really don't have a lot of that detail anymore. But when I was chief, a lot of it was Colombian, South America countries. because of some of the nexus they've had with different regimes. But a lot of them are coming from Middle Eastern countries and former Soviet bloc countries. So they're from.
Nah, he didn't say a lot of them are coming through Middle Eastern countries. Isn't that the people we used to be in war with? That's coming through the borders right now? And they have all this hate and animosity against poor old America. And we letting them in our borders? Middle Eastern men? Like I said, it ain't the future don't look too well for America. It ain't looking too bright. And a disaster is bound to happen.
All over the world. There's not one specific location, and that's why border security is national security, because this is not a problem of just to our neighbors to the south. They're flying in from all over the world, from countries that are not our allies, that wish to do us harm, and they're showing up at our border. Thank goodness we're arresting them, but I am very concerned with the 1.8 million gotaways, because quite honestly, people are focused too much on this immigration problem, not focused on this national security problem. Look, just in the last few months, we've had the FBI director testify twice that all the bells and whistles are going off. It's long overdue for this administration to take the border security piece, the national security piece at our southern border, make that a priority number one to keep America safe and keep our community safe.
We appropriately focus on illegal immigration. It should be pointed out as well, as we saw chants this week of death to America in Michigan, those are on legal immigrants to the United States. So we got to be paying attention to who's coming into this country. Thank you so much, Chris, for being with us this morning.
You got it. Thank you for bringing this topic up.
You bet.
Oh, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. But nothing's going to be crazier than this next episode. This episode is crazy. We already know this migrant crisis is out of hand. There's another out of hand crisis. We're going to get to it.
Provoked attack in broad daylight. It all happened inside a busy Grand Central this morning. Police say a 9-year-old was with her mom inside the dining hall when a man randomly approached them and punched that little girl in her face.
You see that? You see what happens when y'all just keep letting these migrants in? Now they running rampant all across America, doing nonsenseness crime. This is a nonsense foolishness crime. To go up to a 9-year-old and punch a child in the face. And who did this crime? A migrant. How did the migrant end up in America? Through Sleepy Joe policies. You know, Sleepy Joe Biden, I've been told him that they need to put him in a retirement home and go on and hit retirement. Yeah, that one. That one we talking about.
News 4's Jessica Cunningham live at Midtown with more on what we know about the suspect tonight. Jessica?
And Gus, first of all, what we do know is that suspect is in custody. The MTA confirming that, saying he was arrested about 20 minutes ago. But we're also learning that this is the second time in about a week and a half that this suspect is accused of randomly punching someone inside Grand Central. The MTA police says this time it was a 9-year-old girl from the Bronx. It was just before noon Saturday. A 9-year-old girl and her mom were standing here in the dining concourse of Grand Central when MTA police say this man, out of nowhere, punches the young girl in the face. A few minutes later, Brooke Gibo walked into work at a coffee shop here.
My coworkers were like, oh my God, like a child got punched today in front of Tartinery. And I was like, wow, that's terrible. Like, who was it? And it's like, it's this guy who's given us problems before.
MTA police identifying the man as 30-year-old John Carlos Zarzuela. He got...
Hold on. Let's go back to his mugshot. There the man is right here. There is the man that's going around punching 9-year-olds in their face. You see me, if I had my daughter with me and a man chose to go walk him and try to do that, he gonna get choked up like this. This is how he's gonna get choked up. Yeah. Defense style and all. Tactical style. Just like, get the neck like that. And I'm gonna toss him, and I'm gonna dial 911, and I'm gonna wait for them boys in green to come swamp his ass and throw him back into the swamp. Throw his ass in jail. This funky, good for nothing, illegal, undocumented migrant. Good for nothing. Take his ass, pack his ass, throw him Throw him on the next flight back to his country, please and immediately.
He got away before the girl from the Bronx was taken to the hospital.
It could happen any time. You never know. So especially if you're a woman, like I said, or a child.
Court records show Zarzuela was arrested by MTA police on April 4th and charged with assault. A law enforcement source telling News 4 Zarzuela randomly punched a 54-year-old woman inside Grand Central, breaking...
Wait a second. You see, I keep telling y'all about these liberal policies. These liberal policies, oh yeah, they're going to damage this whole society. Listen to this. So y'all mean to tell me he did this before to a 54-year-old old man or woman, whoever. He did this before and just walked up to the old man or the old woman and punched them in their face. So what judge let this goddamn T-Rex out of the jungle? What judge freed this T-Rex out of the cage and let him go hunting and preying on his villains again? What judge is that? We need to start holding these judges accountable. We need to start holding these lawmakers accountable. And we need to just start holding our president, Sleepy Joe, accountable. Because look at what's happening in our community. Vicious predators out on the loose. Again, praying again and again and again because they keep letting them free. You do the crime, you get let out free. You do the crime, you get let out free. When is this going to stop? He should have been locked up for good for 5-10 years in prison the first time. Lord have mercy.
Her nose. In that case, the source says a judge set bail at $2,500 cash. He went to jail and on April 9th went in front of a different judge and was released. Just 4 days later, MTA police say he was back at Grand Central, now accused of another attack.
He fake swings at people sometimes, but I guess he's actually swinging at people now.
Jibo has only been working here for about a year and is not surprised to hear about another violent incident. Back on Christmas, 2 teenage tourists were stabbed in an unprovoked attack here.
There is a very big mental health crisis here, obviously, and the reform for that isn't, gonna just change fast. So I don't know. It's a very nuanced issue.
The MTA communications director saying it doesn't make any sense that this guy who was recently released after being charged with randomly punching someone else should be back in a public space where he can attack others, especially children. The people responsible for the criminal justice system need to learn from this episode before more innocent people become victims.
I keep telling y'all, keep them locked up for good or send them a one-way ticket, deportated back to their country. That's it. Once we start having laws like this, the crime will slow down. It'll vanish. Yes. And what's getting me mad is on this next episode that I'm about to show y'all. Y'all gonna see why we have to keep this crime crisis under control. Because crime is plaguing our communities. Yeah, we're gonna get to it the next episode.
And 10 others hurt, including 3 other young children in a shooting on the city's south side.
This happened last night near 52nd and Damon in the back of the Yards neighborhood. Our Christian Picos is live at the University of Chicago Medical Center with the latest. Christian.
Kate and Mark, at this hour, 3 people are in critical condition, including that 1-year-old child after a shooting last night near 52nd and South Damon in the city's back of the Yards neighborhood. This all happening, according to police, on the 2000 block of West 52nd just after 9:15 p.m. last night. Chicago police say 11 people were shot, including that 8-year-old girl who died. So in total, we're talking 7 adults, 4 kids.
See that? You see what's going down in Chirac, the jungle? Wartown, you see what's going on, right? Now they shooting kids. That's what is all this good old all this fake crime happening. That's what's going down right now. Killing kids, killing babies. An 8-year-old girl killed. 8-year-old. Then 4 children shot too. In total, making it 11 people shot. When is this gun violence gonna stop? And it's always happening in these, the not so good neighborhoods. And I thought Chicago, they don't have they restrict guns and all of that. but these criminals are carrying the most guns ever. Come on now. For a city that doesn't allow guns and for crime to be running rapid like this, I don't know. It seems to me they got to reverse their laws, their gun laws and all of that. Because maybe if people started defending themselves more, maybe this would, stop. It wouldn't persist.
It's shot. CPD says a ShotSpotter alert picked up 18 gunshots. Police say officers performed life-saving measures when first responders arrived. CPD Deputy Chief Don Jerome says this was likely a targeted incident.
This was not a random act of violence. It was likely gang-related. Regardless of the motivation for this incident, 3 innocent children were struck tonight, and one of them tragically succumbed to her wounds. The offender's actions, make no mistake.
We must be out of our minds. Literally out of our minds. To be shooting kids. I don't know what these folks be eating. What's in their health? What's in their diet? What type of water they be drinking for their minds to be so possessed. So possessed that I'm going to go shoot in a crowd full of kids. And I don't care who the bullet hits. I don't care. Like I keep saying, we out of our minds. We lost it. Our brains are fried. No good. The brain don't function properly anymore. Common sense is on an all-time low. Education is on an all-time low. Everything is just on an all-time low and just degrading down. There used to be consequences back in the day if stuff like this was to happen. And now we're hearing this more and more on the news. Kids getting shot, babies getting killed and shot. Like, what? Almost like we're celebrating like this is the new norm. No. No. Death shall come to people that kill babies. Yes. Yes, indeed. Harsher punishment for people that kill babies. Yes, indeed. Back in the day when they had all the mafias and all the true, real gangs back in the day, the number one law in all gangs was you don't touch babies and you don't touch kids. It is against gang policies. Nowadays, these good-for-nothing, brain-fried, they smoke their brains out, can't read, illiterate, can't spell, can't read, gangbangers is now shooting up kids. Nah, this is out of control.
Are horrific and unacceptable in our city.
This is out of control, and I won't tolerate this no more. We ain't gonna tolerate this no more. I'm done with Chicago sending the Army, sending the Coast Guard, sending the Marines, sending everybody you got. And clean and correct Chicago up. Yes, and get rid of these fake gangs that's over here terrorizing kids and babies. Get rid of them. Throw away the keys if you have to. By any means necessary. Get these dragons and these goddamn barbaric people off the streets. Clean up the streets if you have to. I love you guys. I thank y'all for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the bell button, subscribe, like the video if you like it. Anyways, deuces and salute.